In the last couple of years, we have seen so many incredible developments in commercial spaceflight.
Yeah.
Where do you think the commercial spaceflight industry is now, and where do you think it's going in the next couple of years?
Well, I can tell you that this is probably one of the best times to be involved in space exploration. There's so many new companies popping up. Years ago, probably I think it was around 2020, I was talking with Adina Friedman, and she mentioned that the space sector is going to start booming with at least $1 trillion of revenue at some point, especially with this notion of going back to the moon. So once we started this, NASA actually started this program, Artemis, to go back to the moon, a lot of companies started popping up. A lot of commercial companies also started popping up. We have now SpaceX, which is the company that flew me to the International Space Station. We have Virgin Galactic. We have Blue Origin. But on top of those, we also have a company called VAST. They're developing systems for the moon. We have Sierra Space also developing systems for the moon. There's several companies developing ways to excavate the surface of the moon to mine it for minerals, for helium-3, for different things. There's companies setting up to develop food for the moon. How do we grow plants on the moon? So there's all kinds of things going on right now in the space sector. And it's probably one of the best times ever to get into space.
Absolutely. And you touched on it a little bit with the mining and the different companies that were looking to get resources from the moon. But what are the main benefits of NASA's mission to return to the moon within the next couple decades?
Well, there's several things. I mean, we look at the moon at night and we see this object that's just there. You see the black portion on it, that's the basalts. We know that there was some volcanic activity on the moon, but there's so much more we don't know about the moon. If you look closely at the moon, there's pock marks all over it. It's been impacted what looks like millions and millions of times. We don't exactly understand how the moon got there. So for me, I'm not an astronomer, but I look up at the sky and wonder how it got there. And, why does it still experience all these impact craters every now and then? For us, once we get back to the moon, we can continue the research on the moon. Maybe we could figure out what happened to the moon, how it got stuck there. And if there's other objects coming to impact it, will it hit the Earth? So the more we know, the more we can protect planet Earth. That's one aspect for me. But the next aspect is that the Earth, we want to be a multi-planetary race, human race. We need to use the moon as sort of an engineering test bed so that all the systems that we would need for Mars, we can test it out in an area that's so close that we can get to relatively fast and get back home if things go wrong. It would be very, very bad if we deployed objects out to Mars and they didn't work. That trip out alone, you want to make sure that you have everything, all your ducks in order before you spend 6 months plus getting to Mars and then waiting to come back home. So you've got a window there. There's several reasons that we need to go back to the moon. We need to continue studying it. We need to use it as an engineering test bed to help us learn how to be a multiplanetary race.